So welcome everybody. Welcome to this new appointment dedicated to HR Talks, the cycle of digital interviews on the occasion of the Mental Health Week, dedicated to HR professionals and the theme of well-being at work. So today we are here with Dario Bertoia, Head of People Care in Intesa Sanpaolo. Welcome, Dario.
Hi Marta, thank you.
Thank you very much for having accepted our invitation. Can you tell us more about you?
Yes, of course. So thanks for the brief introduction, Marta. And so I have been working for Intesa Sanpaolo since 1990, so a very long time, a very long journey. I took part in various projects in different banking fields, such as international payments, in finance, organization, and innovation. And then as of 2019, I joined the HR family, the HR department. I spent 3 years in diversity, equity, and inclusion. At the time, a newly established unit reporting directly to the Chief Operating Officer. And as of 2022, I have been the head of People Care, whose goal is to launch and manage well-being initiatives, well-being services and tools for Intesa Sanpaolo people as part of a global HR strategy of the banking group.
Thank you very much, Dario. So a very interesting career, and I'm very pleased to have you here today. As far as we have collaborating a lot during these last years together with the whole People Care team. So today we are here to talk about how multinational organizations can design and implement a global well-being program. And so, Dario, I would like to ask you some questions regarding Intesa Sanpaolo Care Connect project. So, first of all, I would like to know, how did this Care Connect project come to life? And especially, what motivated you to then extend this program from Italy to around 40 countries in the world?
Yeah. So first of all, let me introduce a little bit the Care Connect service and how the service is integrated in a broader well-being strategy. So Care Connect is the name of the professional psychological support services that we launched in 2020 during the pandemic to all Intesa Sanpaolo here in Italy. In Italian, this service is called ascolto e supporto, listening and support. It's a service free of charges. It's anonymous and confidential. It's available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week via a toll-free number or via a web platform, connecting with the external team of psychologists and psychotherapists provided by your company, by Stimulus, of course. And the aim is to provide colleagues a practical help in responding to the various personal and professional challenges they may face in daily life, which of course might generate sometimes concerns or might affect well-being. This service is just one of the pillars of an overall well-being program called Care Lab, that covers also the physical and not only the mental and let's say emotional and relational dimensions. So Care Lab was launched in Italy in 2020 as well. It consists of a web platform, various apps, tools, the creation of let's say new pleasant workspaces where people can work and interact in a more effective way, and also in presence initiatives with the aim of fostering the adoption of healthy habits for our body, for our mind, in the office, at home, and anywhere else. And the journey of extending Care Lab to all the legal entities abroad has started this year. So coming back to your question, our well-being strategy covers the whole Intesa Sanpaolo group, as it is also stated in our current business plan. People, of course, are the main asset for our group. It's useless to say that if people feel good and engaged, it benefits the company too. And the psychological support service has been the first Care Lab component already extended in local language to all people abroad. We are talking about 23,000 people. And ensuring the same service level we have been experiences here in Italy.
Wow, it's very ambitious, I would say, as project, and we had the chance to work closely with you, indeed, for this Care Connect, so the part, of course, of the psychological well-being. So it's very interesting, and we really appreciate it when you, from the first, you were believing a lot also in this, in the importance of keeping the mental health as pillar in your policy and in your project. So I understand that, as you said, it's a very large program. It's a very large project. So can you share with us also what have been the main challenges you have faced, starting from the conception to the implementation and now the monitoring of this project?
Yes, sure. So let me say that the main challenge of a global project like this one is complexity, because we are talking of about 40 countries spread all over the world, with different languages, different cultures, different approaches to a psychological support service. So the involvement of each local HR department has been crucial to make the service known locally and to understand how it would be perceived by each target audience abroad. And another challenge is, of course, the identification of local partners able to provide in local language the same service level we have here in Italy. And this aspect has been faced mainly by your company, by Stimulus, leveraging on your international network. And then, of course, a communication strategy is also key for the launch of the service, but also for the following phases. The communication plan has included different things, such as a leaflet describing the service, an introductory local webinar with a Q&A session in local language, of course, intranet news, and so on. And it has been crucial also to give a local, let's say, a local flavor of the service according to the local culture. And for example, for this reason, also the name of the service is different country by country. So just to sum up, the main challenge we face is applying a global strategy, but really acting locally and adapting the implementation approach to the characteristics, to the peculiarities of each country.
Well, you have mentioned very key elements, I will say, as far as that was also the main point on which we really try to work hard, so that to permit and allow this global implementation. And I really like also the type of figure and like the expression that we always use for this launch was a Big Bang launch. So that was a really, really very ambitious project. And yes, I remember. We remember, I think, all the meetings, and indeed, I think try the way to involve also not only having this very high ambition, but at the same time to find the right engagement locally, and so I'm really proud then that we achieved this launch this year. So you have mentioned communication and how we try and strategies to reach the final beneficiaries in a proper way. So I wonder if you have highlight, or if you can highlight for us some kind of key success factors for a global well-being project and program.
Yes, so talking about a global well-being program, so not limited only to the psychological support, which is one of the pillars of a global well-being program. Let me say that understanding what people need, what their expectations are, in other words, getting to know the audience, which is different by country, this is the starting point. So knowing the audience. Then a global well-being program must necessarily be based on a clear communication strategy and also periodical communication initiatives at the local level to spread the knowledge about the program. And further, a continuous monitoring is also a key component to understand the real use of the well-being services and the well-being initiatives, and of course to set up a continuous improvement process. And the last but not least, it's important to clearly explain that all the well-being initiatives launched locally are part of a global strategy across the whole group, and thus fostering a strong feeling of belonging.
Wow, I think it's very interesting. And if correct me if I'm wrong, but to sum up, we can say that, as you've mentioned before, key element is the adaptation of the program, and then when we mention communication, we really have to take in mind it's not only the launch of this program, but we want to make sure that once the company have implemented a mental health and well-being program, it's important really to create awareness, to keep on reminding the importance of the service, the value of this program, and I think that we really achieve also to create this centralized pilotage. So that to make sure that we keep all together all the parts of the and elements of this project, keeping in mind who are the beneficiaries and the target population.
Absolutely.
So we are reaching almost the end of our interview, and this year, in the occasion of this Mental Health Week 2023, we would like to highlight to talking about mental health by keeping in mind what does it mean to lead well-being. So my question for you, and it's also the one that we are asking to all the HR professionals that have been involved in this edition, is Dario, what will be your advice for an HR colleague who would like to lead transformation inside his or her company, and how basically he or she could make the mental health and psychological well-being a priority inside his or her company?
Yeah, so good question. Let me say, I would suggest to focus efforts, resources, and initiatives on two main factors. On the one hand, the integration of well-being within the company overall HR strategy. So well-being as part of an overall HR strategy. And on the other hand, the implementation of a holistic approach to well-being. So let me explain a little bit better. More than ever, companies are now investing in well-being programs. But these programs must be consistent and integrated with the evolution, for example, of HR processes. It might be consistent with the diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives, consistent with the new way of working. We have adopted a model that we call hybrid working. It must be consistent with investments in real estate, so to provide new facilities, new spaces where people can work and can live better. And of course, everything in alignment with all the welfare provisions. So that's the first factor. The second factor I mentioned is the holistic approach. For me, it is fundamental to embrace all aspects of well-being. That means the physical, the emotional and psychological, the relational dimensions, as we did with the Care Lab initiative I mentioned before. So I would like to conclude with a quote of one of our great-grandfather, the ancient Roman writer Jovenale. He said, mens sana in corpore sano, that can be translated as a sound mind in a sound body, or a healthy mind in a healthy body. So the holistic approach, indeed.
I think that this quote really sum up your intention when you create Care Lab, and I'm very pleased to that we have started collaboration together, because having the opportunity to work with such an ambitious team as yours, I think it permits really to create something of value, and that the others could take inspiration from. So thank you very much, Dario, for having shared this, your experience and your key success factors. So I thank you also, all the people who decided to watch and listen to our interview today. And yeah, I hope that everybody could take advantage from this very important and precious sharing moment. So thank you, Dario, and thank you all.
Thank you, Marta. Thank you, Marta, for the invitation. Bye-bye.